All right, today we're going to jump into something fascinating from the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza. It's this idea that there are two totally different games we can play when it comes to creating wealth, or really anything in our lives. And it all comes down to a choice. Are you a victim of your reality, or are you the creator of it? Let's get into it. I mean, does this question hit home for you? That feeling that you're always on a treadmill, running faster and faster just to get that next thing, only to find the finish line has moved again? Well, according to Dr. Dispenza, if you feel that way, it's not some kind of personal failure. Nope, it's a symptom of the game that most of us are playing without even realizing it.
And this right here is the key. There are two different rulebooks. You've got the old game that's all about chasing physical stuff because you feel like you don't have enough. That's old school, Newtonian reality. And then you've got the new game, creating from this invisible field of potential, from a place where you're already whole. That's the quantum model. So, let's start by breaking down that old game we all know so well.
Dr. Dispenza calls this the Newtonian model, or even simpler, matter trying to change matter. This is basically our default setting, the program we are all raised on. And it's built on a belief system that keeps us trapped in this loop of always wanting, always striving.
It makes perfect sense when you think about it, right? Our senses tell us we're separate. I'm over here, and my dream car, my dream house, it's all way over there. So there's this gap between us and what we want. And to close that gap, we think we have to use our bodies, our time, our energy to go out into the world and get it. That feeling of separation is the engine that drives this entire game.
And this is the exhausting loop it creates. You see your friend's promotion and bam, you feel the lack of it in your own life. So that feeling drives you. You hustle for months, maybe even years. You finally get what you were chasing and you get that little rush, but then it fades. The novelty wears off, that feeling of emptiness creeps back in, and before you know it, you're looking for the next thing to fill that void. It is a game you can just never, ever win.
And this quote it perfectly diagnoses the problem with this whole model, doesn't it? We're living by this rule that says, once I get the money, once I get the relationship, then I'll finally feel good. We're waiting for something outside of us to change how we feel inside. But what if we have that whole equation completely backward? So, this brings us to the new game. And this isn't about working harder, it's about playing on a completely different field. A field that's based on a quantum model of reality, where you don't create from a feeling of lack. You create from a state of wholeness that's already inside you.
This right here is the whole paradigm shift. Instead of waiting for success to make you feel worthy to generate success. Instead of waiting for wealth to make you feel abundant to attract wealth. See the difference? You're no longer waiting for the cause, you are the cause. So where does all this happen? Dr. Dispenza points to what scientists call the quantum field. Now, don't let the name scare you. Just think of it like an invisible, intelligent network of pure potential that connects absolutely everything. It's not empty space. It's the source code from which all of physical reality, every single possibility you can imagine, is born. So in this new game, you stop chasing. You stop trying to get what you want. Instead, you focus on changing your internal state, your energy, your frequency, to match the frequency of the future you want to experience. And when your energy is a vibrational match to that potential in the quantum field, you collapse that possibility into reality. You literally draw the experience to you through synchronicities and opportunities that feel like magic.
Okay, this is a really cool idea, but how do we actually do it? How do we make this practical? Well, the formula Dr. Dispenza lays out has two parts, and they have to work together.
First up, you need a coherent brain. When we're stressed out and anxious, our brain waves are just all over the place. It's like a radio station full of static. No clear signals getting through. But when we meditate, when we calm our minds, our brainwaves become orderly and synchronized. That creates a powerful, clear signal, your intention, that you can broadcast right into that field of potential.
But a clear signal is not enough. You also need a coherent heart. Emotions like gratitude, joy, and love, they generate a powerful magnetic field around your body, and that field is the magnet that draws your future to you. So, you combine the clear intention from your brain, that's the signal, with the elevated emotion from your heart, that's the magnet, and that right there is the formula. So the formula itself sounds pretty simple, but when you start to apply it, you realize what this work is really about. It stops being about getting things. The whole game becomes about personal change. It's about becoming the kind of person who is a natural match for an abundant reality. And this is the absolute heart of it. Your personality, which is just how you think, how you act, and how you feel is literally creating your current reality. So, if you want a new reality, a different life, you can't keep showing up as the same person. Nothing on the outside is going to change until you change on the inside.
And this number really shows you how big the challenge is. 95%. That means that by the time we're in our mid-30s, 95% of who we are is just a set of memorized programs. We're running on autopilot. We wake up, think the same thoughts, do the same things, feel the same emotions, and then we wonder why our life never changes.
So the very first step, the most important step, is just to become aware of those unconscious patterns, to start observing your automatic thoughts without judging them, to notice your conditioned reactions. The moment you become conscious of those programs, you are no longer the program. You're the one observing it, and that's where all your power lies.
And the real work, it happens in these tiny, everyday moments. An abundant person doesn't constantly complain about what things cost or feel bitter about someone else's success. So every time that old habit to complain or to judge pops up, and you consciously decide, you know what, not today, you are literally pruning the old connections in your brain and building the brain of your future self.
Ultimately, it just comes down to this choice, moment by moment. Are you living in victim consciousness, where your outer world dictates how you feel inside? Or are you shifting into creator consciousness, where your inner world is what creates your outer reality? Are you waiting for a reason to feel grateful? Or are you deciding to feel grateful to create the reason?
So the real takeaway here is a challenge. It's a personal experiment. For just a little while, forget about trying to get anything. The entire game boils down to this one question. Can you teach your body, emotionally, what your future feels like before it even happens? Can you feel so whole, so abundant, that the feeling of wanting actually disappears? Because the moment you do that, as Dr. Dispenza says, is the moment your future starts to find you.